want to see our first from the past.
Yes, Lord.
You know, but if it does, are you ready? Do you really have a plan for these people that you're praying for? Do you really have a plan for the prodigal when that person comes home, because you know how they left?
Thank you, Jesus.
And we need to get ready for this, because we're praying for our family, we're praying for our sons and daughters, we're praying for our uncles and aunts and our grandparents and big mama and big daddy and all that other kind of stuff. And if they come home today, are you ready? And so we're going to talk about a couple things, because we need to get ready for it, because we've been praying, and many of us have been creating a plan to receive them when they come. A plan. So you just can't say, I'm praying for this person, and first of all, God already knows what is going on in that person's life. You're not telling them nothing new. And with all your wisdom, and you telling them what Lord, I need you to do this, and I need you to do that, he hears you. Yes. But he knows exactly what needs to be done.
Yes, God.
But now he puts it upon your heart. When you say, well, the Lord has put it upon me to pray for you. What he's basically saying is, I want you to talk to me about this particular individual, because I need you to get in on it. I need you to participate. So when you're praying for someone, you're actually saying, you're aligning yourself up with God and saying, hey, what can I do? What can I be of service? So you need to write a plan. When people say, hey, I'm praying for you, well, I say thank you. But there are people that I know that are praying for me that they actually write out a plan.
Thank you, Father.
You have to have a plan for someone that you're praying for. And, and if they're stuck, you got to have a plan for the recovery. Like if they decide to, okay, listen, then what? They come home, are you ready? Then what? Are you prepared to help them do their recovery? Then what? So this is real stuff. And so we're going to talk about some things, and we're going to shake it up a little bit. And we're going to get some definitions, and we're going to talk about the little prodigal that's in all of us. And we'll get into a couple words. And you guys can go ahead and do some research and what have you. I challenge you to do this. I challenge you to do research and check my stuff to see if I'm on point. So anyway, let's go to Luke chapter 15. And we're going to start at verse 11. I'm going to give you a chance. Luke chapter 13.
13?
Oh, excuse me, 15. Luke 15. Luke 15. We're going to start at verses 11. I thank God for modern technology. I wear glasses, but I ain't got to wear them because I can adjust the screen and everything, All right. The prodigal son. All right. Then Jesus said, there was a man who had 2 sons. How many sons did he have?
2.
2 sons. The younger son said to him, Father, give me my share of the estate. So he divided his property between them. After a few days, the younger son got everything together and journeyed to a distant country, where he squandered his wealth in wild living. That's what the commentary, that's the background that we see there, right? Verse 14. Oh, wait a minute. Have you guys ever squandered something? No, for real. Have you ever squandered anything?
Yes.
I thought I'd throw that out there. All right. Because we're going to find ourselves going, All right, verse 14. After he had spent all he had, a severe famine swept through that country, and he began to be in need. Right. Now, he was already in need when he lost everything, but this is a different type of need. There's a different type of need. There's a need that will keep you up at night. There's a need that will make you get on the phone and do something, call people.
Right.
I'm going to leave that alone. So a severe famine swept through the country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country. So I assumed that he was a day go, like work for a day. You see what I'm saying? He decided he was going to be an hourly, not an hourly, but a day go. Like by the day, I'm assuming this from the conversation, that the language. So he went and hired himself out, got a job, out to a citizen of that country who sent him to his fields, with a plural, to feed the pigs. Check this out. He longed to fill his belly with the pods the pigs were eating, but no one would give him a thing. So this famine happened. He got a job. Obviously, he was got to get fed. He didn't get anything until after the work is done. So he worked all day. He went to different fields. And so this ain't like year 2022 with the technology and the farms looking like a certain type of way. This is back a couple of racks ago, and people, it was a lot different. And so you can see, I'm setting this up, you guys, so you can see this man getting a job, and he's traveling to different fields. Not in a car, maybe on foot, maybe on a wagon or a beast, but he is laboring, he's hungry. And he said he would rather I'm going to eat what they're eating, but it's a famine.
Yes.
And understand that they take, imagine this, you don't even live there. You're not a citizen. You're vacation, you're kicking it. And they're going to take care of theirs first, so you know where you're at. And you don't have nothing. You're not even from the country, and you are there. Like during the pandemic.
My God.
So worst thing to be is to be a stranger in a far land, broke, and you need a job. You're going to get whatever's left over. He is rolling with these guys, and he couldn't eat the food that he saw. While he was in that state, we don't know how long it was. We don't know how long it took. We don't know any of that. All we do know is that he longed to fill his belly with the pods the pigs were eating, but no one would give him a thing, nothing. Now that's very interesting that it says it like that. I think about has anybody ever been the prodigal? First of all, let me appeal to you. I'm going to give you a definition of that in a second. We're going to talk about something. I think I need to give you a definition of that, but we're going to have some fun and looking at this. So, he longed to fill his belly with the pods that pigs were eating. I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll be hungry and I'll see a commercial and I'll get up and want to go and get that. Or I might call my uncle, and we're always exchanging recipes and all that. And there are times when I talk to him, he might be chewing a chicken wing, and then I might just get up and find me some. But you ever had no money to get nothing? You couldn't buy a pop if you wanted to, or soda if you wanted to. You ever sat back and watched everybody eat?
Yes.
And you went hungry? I mean, I've been there, not you. I know you are there, but I know what it's like to not have nothing. No money to beg, no money coming, no money in the pocket. Don't know how to get ready to do this. Just hanging in there. Availing yourself to whatever. I hate that position. Here was this man. Something happened. Verse 20. Wait, verse 17. Finally he came to his senses and said, how many of my father's hired servants have plenty of food? But here I am, starving. Look at you, all back of the bus. Have you ever been back of the bus? Look at you. Used to ride in front of you, back of the bus. Look at you. Used to roll in that car. Look at you, catching the bus. Can't afford Uber. Gotta get a ride from everybody else, ain't going nowhere. Just so you can get something. But nobody was trying to give him nothing. He was trying to come up, but nobody was trying to give him nothing.
That's right.
And he came to his senses. Ain't nobody if he's going to help you come up. None of your road dogs are going to help you come up. You're a road dog with them because you're in the same situation. Ask him for some money to help you. I have friends that when I was in the mud, I could, if I want to chase women, get high, drink, partying, kicking, man, I got you. But if I want to come out of the mud, then all of a sudden, amen, and it will remind me of my thing.
Right.
And my situation. And they get mad at you when you come out. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. I'm going to throw, there's some vocabulary words, and I know there's a couple words that you're going to play with and have some fun with, but he came to his senses. He came to himself.
Okay.
He came to himself. He had a moment of sobriety. He said, how many of my father's hired servants have plenty of food? Mm-hmm. He started making inventory. He said, hold up. But here I am starving to death. So he was on the job, starving to death. When he came to himself, he said, starving to death. He said, I'm going to get up and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. Yo, I'm sorry. I just can't get on your cruise. He did not say anything about his mom. He did not say anything about his brothers. He didn't say anything about his friends. He didn't say anything about that. He had a moment of clarity. I need to tell my dad I'm sorry, get right with him, and get a job. He still had a little game in him because he knew what he was getting ready to say. Right. And I'm not faulting him, but he had a plan.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And people in a vision, he said, I'm going to get up, go tell he's still in there. Right. I'm going to get up. Tell my dad I have sinned against God. I have sinned against you. I'm not even worthy to be your son. Can I get a job in one of your crews? Right. That's what I'm about to do. Right. I'm leaving. Right. And we don't know how long it took him to leave.
That's true.
Because you just can't leave just your crew. Sometimes you have to wait till the end of your shift or you're going to have problems, especially if you're a family. Mm-hmm. This is a family. This is not just his situation. Everybody's going through it.
Right.
Well, not everybody. Because some people plan for disasters because there's profit in chaos. Right. So while you are selling your property, somebody buying it up. Right. Somebody can take your situation and rock your situation. While you crying, I'll switch with you. You better say that. I'll switch with you. You're crying that you're laying in that bed, but I'm in my car. I'll switch with you. You're crying that you don't like the same old beans and rice your mom and dad cooking for you. But I'm out here looking around. I'll switch with you. I'll eat hot water cornbread. It don't have to take like Jiffy. Okay. I will do this. I will switch places. There are people right now who will switch places with you in a minute. Like you're looking at you and saying, boy, he's a fool. But understand the prodigal son was a fool before he left his father's house.
All right.
And you have to understand that you're dealing with a fool. A fool despises his father's instruction. Yes. But let me tell you something. Just because a person despises don't mean you got to know about it. Because there are people that despise you and you see them every single day. You sit in your car, you're riding with them, you come to church, they sit there despising you, feeling some type of way. That you even came back to Jesus. And I'm about to talk about that in a second. Because we got to prepare for these people that are coming in. And check it out. We're not even ready.
You're right.
We say we are, but we're not ready. After the pandemic, every churches all over the place is kind of challenged. Right. What if everybody came? What would happen? We're not even ready for the increase anyway. But we talk about it. Anyway, we're going to talk about that a little later, Russian. So, he came to his senses. He said, starving to death, verse 18. I'm going to go to my father's house. I tell him, I sinned against you. I sinned against heaven. I sinned against you. I'm not worthy to be your son. I'm a resource. I know I'm messed up. And make me like one of your servants. Listen to that part. That's important. Because something happened on the way home. And that's what we're going to talk about. The ride home. The way home. The adventure home. Whatever you might want to call it. That road home. All right. Because some of us are still on that. I'm still on that road. So, verse 20. So he got up. He did something that a lot of people didn't do that was with him. They were talking about the situation, but not doing something. When Jesus was talking about the sower, he said to sow with the sow. The birds came because he was sowing, and they were eating up the seed.
Right.
He was encouraging you, do not worry about the birds, keep sowing the seed.
All right.
In the season of spring is a season of opportunity. You sow the seed. However, the birds are going to be lurking, and you do not want to have a conversation with people that don't have any plans or aspirations or anything to move forward.
Yep.
There are people that are there because of what you're doing. If it wasn't doing it, they wouldn't be there.
Okay. Yes, Lord.
So you're sowing seed, the birds come, stop talking to the birds. What are you having a conversation with them for anyway when you're supposed to be doing your job, planting the seed because summer is coming? You just got out of winter. You just got out of where there were no opportunities, nothing. Right? So imagine he had hit winter. His winter.
Right.
And not only did he hit winter, it was a severe winter and a famine, which means nobody getting nothing. Nobody getting nothing. Nobody getting nothing. And I'm the least of these nobody. My stuff is raggedy, broke down, and tore up.
Okay.
The stuff is raggedy. And I don't know if you ever looked at your stuff and say, this is so raggedy that I can't even stand it. You ever been so raggedy that you couldn't look in the mirror? Go on the wig, ladies. Put some makeup on because you don't want to see yourself because you felt ragged.
Right.
And yet the smell of perfume and all the affirmations and all the stuff we might get from our thirst traps. You know those pictures that we take like this?
Right.
You know what I mean? We know you're hungry.
Okay.
We know you're out there. We know, we see it. Listen, we know there's a famine in the land. And you're at want. I need love.
Okay.
I need attention. I need. Instead of giving up the core values, but we'll go back to that later. This man was spent.
Yes.
He already recognized himself as raggedy, broke down and told, I didn't like myself.
Right.
And he went home. He said, I'm getting up. Then he did it. His friends looked at him like, where are you going? He said, get away from me. Oh my God, I'm out of here. You can imagine when you got up. But check this out. When did you ever get that? There are some people that get the wake-up call in the dope house.
My God.
At the weed store. At your sneaks deli. At that other place. Wherever you get it, wherever you get that wake-up call, you come to yourself. And many of us had this particular one. He said, I'm done. He got up, he had a vision, he rose up, so he got to his father, he went to his father, but when he was still in the distance, his father saw him, because his father was looking for him, and it was filled with what? Compassion.
Yes.
He allowed it to fill him up. And did you know that you could resist it?
Yes.
And fight it? How many times you fought to do the right thing? You knew you should do it, but it was hard because this person, and some people offend you differently. See, this prodigal son tore his behind, but he left. We don't know what he did, but we're going to find out some things. But how did you leave? Because everybody that leave you, all your kids, they left right. This boy left somewhat with respect, but not everybody leaves right.
Yes, Lord.
And you say you want your kids back, but they done hit 20s. They done hit them 30s. They done hit them 40s. And Lord knows all the babysitting you got to do and helping them in their 30s and their 40s because you know they are genius. These guys know everything. Right? They know everything. They don't even realize that in your 20s you don't know, and you don't know you don't know. You're strong, but you're not mature enough to even run a country because you got to be 35 to be a president. From 18 to 21, you're not even old enough to buy smokes. You're 18, you could die for your country.
Right.
Well, little kid, when you're at war, you go to war at 12, 13, 9, and 10. You know what I mean? So let's skip it out. I'll go off on a journey somewhere. All right, so here it is. This boy is on the way home, and he has some things on his mind. His father, his brother, his mama, his sisters, their friends. All these things we have to consider on the way home. When people are on the way back, you're not the only one they are considering. In fact, you just might be just a part of the journey, just a step to the direction, a resting point to them. Because they still got to get it right with this. There are some people that you got to get stuff right, but the season ain't right now. But you're on your way. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes we tear it up with people, but there's other people that had to pick up your slack, that had to come back and deal with that. And this is what we're going to deal with, because I'm going to teach you a word today in a second that you're going to appreciate. You're going to really love this word, because this shows you the condition of the church. When I hit you with this, and you're going to like it, trust me, you're going to like it. So, verse 20 said against him, God was his fathers, and from the distance his father saw him, was filled with compassion, and he ran to his son, embraced him, and he kissed him. His son declared, listen to this, Father, I have sinned against you, sinned against heaven, against you, I am not worthy to be your son. But, transitional word, the father said to his servants while he talked, quick, bring me the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fatted cow and kill it. Let us feast and celebrate. For the son of mine was dead and alive, and now alive again. He was lost and he's found. So they begin to celebrate. All right. Now, let's just get some vocabulary words out of the way. The word prodigal. Someone who is wasteful, extravagant, or reckless, extravagant. Often disregards people's time, resources, unless they are trying to get from themselves. Careless attitude. Extravagant spending, like they just high on the hog, like they just man. Impulsive behavior. Because they're just around money. No financial responsibility. Disregard the consequences.
Right?
Okay. Wild, likes to wild. I'm just doing all the definition. I'll skip all that. Opposite of prodigal. Frugal. Someone who is economically thrifty or careful with money and resources, and other people's resources. Other people's resources. They can, right? Resourceful. Think long term. Conscious of their consumption patterns and will avoid wasting other people's time and resources and money. Now, ask yourself this. How frugal are you? How prodigal are you? There's prodigal and frugal. Two extremes. Where are you at right now? How's your credit? You got money in the bank, money in the pocket, money coming. There's a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? How's your word?
Yes.
Can it bank on that? Can you shake on it? Is your word like money? I know some people that are prodigals. It's hard to keep up with them. The accountability is weak. These type of people they're flighty. Lack of personal accountability and accountability from other people. So let me hurry to move on. All right, here's another word I want to use because he is getting ready to come home. His father did that, but let me share something with you. I love this particular term, but wait a minute. Let me hit you with a term. Write this word down. Dry drunk. Dry drunk. Because we're getting ready to put some stuff in there. Dry drunk. Write that word down, please. Dry drunk. That is someone who stopped drinking but still exhibits negative behaviors and patterns associated with alcohol. You say, I'm out of the streets, but you still look like you run the streets. You know? Ain't been pimping for years, but you're walking around here like that. You got to talk about it all the time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Living in that past. Back in the day, I used to. And you know what? And a lot of times when we reminisce, those kids are listening and they begin to do those things that we were bragging about doing when we were doing stupid stuff at 19, 20, 22, 20s, act like we were. And I really feel bad for a lot of people that have been rounding out in their 20s. You don't know, you have to pay the cost in your 30s. A lot of those videos and stuff that you put on social media sort of pop up. When you out there around out, you see their mama popping it like they hot and their dad over there. They get ready to see a lot of stuff that's going to be, and with this face recognition and all that kind of stuff, they will be able to put your name and stuff and then put your face and all the stuff about their mama and their dad. Mama, I didn't know you was popping it like that though. But you're sitting there getting ready to tell me what I need to do. A lot of people are still in recovery, but not considering the fact that there's other people that are in recovery. You have not finished your recovery, but you are stopping somebody else from recovery.
Wow.
Because you're reminiscing about that stuff that God has delivered you from because you're still drawing trouble. It's like a person that says that I'm no longer banging, but I'm still in the gang, or I'm in the gang, but I'm not in the game, but I still bang. I don't rob people and do all that, but you can't trust me around me.
Jesus. No, it's good. It's good.
Okay, now here's another definition.
Oh, Lord.
Ready to hear this?
Yes.
Prodigal Sibling Syndrome.
Oh, wow.
Prodigal Sibling Syndrome. It's a strong feeling of resentment towards God, whether conscious or unconscious, about him downstairs. How dare, so we're going to, when I came to this church, it was this. We done built this and we done built that. And this guy I done heard about, brother, what's his name again? So-and-so, he's been gone for a minute. I've never seen him really. Now he comes back. He comes back and you guys are, first of all, he's back. You remember what you were saying and all of this kind of stuff? See, that's it.
Lord, have mercy.
See, your children heard your cry.
Right.
They heard you talking about that other one and they built resentment in that picture.
Whether you know it or not.
And yeah, whether you know it or not. And then suddenly this person comes back and they feel some type of way because they remember what they did to you.
Yes, Lord. Right.
And this preacher's got to shut up because we are terrible with telling everybody else's business. But we'll go drink some coffee and sit down and talk amongst ourselves.
Lord help.
And talk about everybody.
Right.
You know, maybe just go and sit down there, to go to a restaurant and sit down and you see a bunch of preachers, just listen. Somebody get ready to talk about somebody.
Yes, Lord.
Just listen. Hey, God, preachers are talking about you. We know you can go talk. Been around 61 years old. Some of us we was running together, so we can talk about that. Because I know my name came up one time because I was there. And I heard my name come up one time and I'm at a restaurant. Then I'm listening. I said, shh, I'm listening.
I know it.
And I'm like, listening. And by this time I'm like, Lynn. And I'm like, oh. You trying to say something? Prodigal Sibling Syndrome. So let's go see that. Meanwhile, the oldest son was in the field. Where was he?
In the field.
And as he approached the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked him, what was he doing? What was going on? Your brother has returned. Did he see his brother yet?
No.
Not yet.
Did he see the shoes?
No.
Did he see the ring?
No.
Did he see the coat?
No.
The boy was converted. First of all, let me say, the boy was converted before he got home. His father saw that. There was also obvious signs. First of all, he didn't have a coat. Why? That's why Dad put it on him. He didn't have shoes. That's why Dad put it on him.
Thank you, Lord.
When it comes to shoes, slaves and servants don't wear shoes. There's a saying that you could buy a slave with some silver, and you can buy the poor with some sandals. He didn't have no shoes. It wasn't that he had to squander it. He might have had to, when that famine hit, he might have had to get rid of it.
Right.
And to be able to get some of these jobs, he might have to put it up so they didn't see him. To allow him to do that. You guys understand what I'm saying? And so here he was, shoeless, coatless, and we can talk about what they all represent and all of that. And the thing, then he gave the black card, the ring. He did that. Now, I'm asking a question. Well, first of all, we can say whatever we want to, but you're not his dad.
No.
And you would not have did that. Let little Johnny that tore up, so let me get this straight. If little Johnny tore up all the cars he get into, he done took your car, left for 3 or 4 days, he was gone for a year, came back, looking raggedy, tore up, and broke down, you give him your clothes, you give him your shoes, you give him some money and all that kind of stuff, would you give him the key to your car? Would you give him the key to your car? Would you give him the key to your house? If he was a thief when he left, you're going to allow him to come and you ain't locking up your house, locking up your stuff? You know you do certain things. This man did not do that. When he left, he took his portion with him. He had nothing left when his father gave him a ring. Gave him a ring. But his brother didn't see none of it. And didn't care of that. He had only one thing that really was on his mind. Let's talk about it. Your brother has returned. Verse 27. Or son became angry, refused to go in. Because in verse 47 says your brother has returned and said your father had killed the fatted calf because he has him back in safety sound. Yes. So the brother confidentially refused to go in. So the father came out to plead with him.
Yes.
But he answered his father, look, all these years, here it comes. Remember, what's that word I just gave you? Prodigal what?
Sibling syndrome.
Prodigal sibling syndrome. This is what he said. Look, all these years, I have served you and never disobeyed your commandments of yours. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. That's all he wanted. He felt like he was not being acknowledged.
Right.
He felt like, did you ever appreciate me? Did you ever, see, a lot of things are going through his mind. And it got to be dealt with. And just because he didn't deal with it here doesn't mean it wasn't dealt with, but this has to be dealt with. Yeah. This silent rage.
Right.
Because I remember when I got mad and I walked away. Then went through my little whatever. I come back and my reception wasn't all that. Because some of them that were the closest to me still have issues.
Right.
And I said, hey, how you doing? Oh, man, everything's doing good. Everything. And I sit there lying and like, I don't have a discernment to sit through all that. And so I know you're really good. You're lying. But there's where you're at. I understand that's part of the prodigal sibling syndrome. And so you have that a lot in church. So you have to prep people. Because people are coming back.
Yes.
We can sit back and deal with it. How you doing? Give it a fake hug and all that and just say, I'm going to walk and deal with it. But it's silent. It's still there. And just like the prodigal son's brother, he refused to go in.
Right.
He didn't want to see it.
Right.
We got to address that. Because there are some people that are not going to want to see anything that disrespected you. When they come back. We got some people that don't like it. Because there are some people that love you and they had your back.
Right.
They don't like when somebody just do you just any kind of way. And then this other person comes back. Come on, you got to already tore this person down.
Right.
You were angry. So you know how sometimes we get angry, you just gotta say something, you know, because we're angry. You know, and not realize that the damage we're doing long term. But we're angry at the time. We don't really mean, we're just mad. Right? We're in our feelings. Right? That person heard that, growing me up. And now it's showtime. There are some people that I knew I wanted to hurt behind my mom. That when I grew up and get old, like my stepdad, I was getting ready to do him. I couldn't wait. And then I got grown, I with my wife, and I'm rolling down the street, and I see them, and I go, oh, I'm 22, 23 years old, so you already know what that looked like.
Right.
Pulling, I rolled up behind him, and he pulled up at my grandmother's house, and so I'm about to mop this man.
Right.
As soon as I've been practicing in my brain, I've been able to I waited all this time.
Right, we all understand, okay?
Then she said something, and my grandmother said something, and that didn't happen. I'm glad I didn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's probably people that might want to get at me, get at you.
That's true. For real.
All right.
That's real.
Again. So let me go back and say this. You're going to have no. I didn't say it yet. You need a vision for the person that you're praying for, and you're going to have to start working on your own stuff because you ain't back yet either. Because there's still people that you need to talk to and get it right with.
Yes.
That you don't even know you have an issue. He didn't even know his brother felt that way. That's his big brother. Like, what did his brother tell him first? What if he ran into his brother first? Or ran into you first? Because you got something to say.
Thank you, Lord.
You can let nobody run over you. You can wait for years. I've got one more question to ask you before we start. We always tell people, when I come to, I can always come to the Lord. He'll always hear me. Really? That's interesting. Esau sold his birthright for some beans. It wasn't even my beans. I know he would sell it for my beans because I'm good. I'm a beanologist. Check the record. You guys just gonna call it up and buy stuff. You gotta know. And so he traded his birthright for some beans. Then he said he dropped in tears and repentance. He had to hold on to that. So wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, then there was another particular type of brother. You remember his name? I'm just going to just throw some things out. I'm going to talk about him. Eli. God told him he's going to kill his kids.
Yes.
And ain't nothing you can do about it.
That's right.
So just because you decide you're going to go home don't mean because you feel sorry, there's still got to be some work.
Right.
Your heart, there's some work. Heart, we got to do some work. There's a lot of people still dry, drunk, still dry particle. There's still a prodigal. What they're missing is the core values, the attitudes and habits that you need. That's going to serve you. The book of James, chapter 1, it says to be a doer of the word. The word doer means a performer. And what that means is that you have to practice that until it becomes a habit. You should for example, you develop you look at some of these core values, rules for your life, right? And you pick something that you're going to work on. You act that, you find out all this stuff that you do, then you begin to act this out over and over and over again. Like if you're a liar, stop telling lies, right? Speak the truth over and over. After a while, it will be hard for you. Because you'll say, ooh, you can't do that. So you're working on it. So I'm just going to use that. I picked that up of all the things that we shared. But I'm going to ask you a question. Are you dry drunk? Are you dry prodigal? Can God count on you? Do you actually create a written plan for people you pray for? Because if you do, then I have no problem with my prayers to you, but if you don't write it down and all that, you don't have to worry about me wasting your time with my stuff. Because you're going to waste my time because I know you don't have a vision to help me do this. I know you're praying for me, but I'm talking about those that said, God has put it upon my heart to pray for you. That means you're going to partner with me, help me get to walk this part of my road, my journey. I appreciate that because not everybody will walk with me, not everybody has walked with me.